Hi, I'm Mike. Today we accomplished something that I've never done before and something that will hopefully, in the long run, save the ranch thousands. Today we breathe life into the Gator, hopefully, on our Wyoming Life. Hi there and welcome back. Hopefully you saw our last video. It was part one of this two-part series, hopefully just a two-part series, about changing out the engine in the Gator. In the last video I had a chance to take you through how and why we have the Gator and what we're doing with it, but I don't think I had a chance to tell you what was wrong with it and how fixing it ourselves will actually be helpful to the ranch and our bottom line. The hunters, they're still here. I'm hoping to go out hunting with them here over the next couple of days as soon as we finish up this project to bring you along as we have a chance for the very first time to take you along with us on a pronghorn antelope stalk and hunt right here on the ranch. That should be a lot of fun for both you and for me. But before we get to go and have fun, there's a lot of work left to do here in the shop. When we left the Gator last, we had just pulled out the old engine. This old engine has almost 14,000 miles on it. And when we started looking into the lifespan of these little engines, we learned a lot and found out that they aren't made to last forever. They're actually Chery engines made in China. Now the Chery double overhead cam 3-cylinder engine is what was used in the Chevy Geo cars and more recently in the newer side-by-side all-terrain vehicles like the John Deere 825i. In China, they're actually used in the Chery brand of car and have been since 2003. The engine life expectancy on a John Deere Gator is hard to judge. I had a dealer tell me that you're lucky to get 12,000 miles out of them in a UTV configuration. Of course, I had somebody else tell me that they had one that had 42,000 miles on it and never had any real trouble. I honestly don't really know, and probably it really depends on how they're driven and what they're used for. I have friends that have Polaris Razors. Well, they're lucky to get 10,000 miles out of their engines. But either way, here with a Gator with 13,000 miles and change and about 2,000 hours is what we have. I can't see numbers like that without actually having a little bit of fun and doing some figuring. So for 2,000 hours, we had the Gator running for 83 days straight, or almost 3 months over the last 8 years. That doesn't really sound like a lot. It's traveled 1,750 miles per year. Now that's the distance from here to New York City. But the funny part is that we average a speed of 7 miles an hour in the Gator. That trip from here to New York would take 250 hours, or 10 and a half days. That's not counting bathroom breaks. Needless to say, the Gator, it's been used. So it's not much of a surprise that over the last year, we've seen power dropping on the old girl. Once we had a chance, we used a compression gauge to find out that the engine's compression, where we get most of our power from, was down about 30%. That could be caused by a cracked cylinder wall, gasket issues, valve problems, or a number of different problems in the engine. We decided to replace the engine because it was only going to get worse. And by replacing instead of just rebuilding this engine, we saved a bit of money, but we also gained an abundance of spare parts. Almost everything from the old engine is salvageable, from the starter to the alternator to the spark plugs. That alone is worth the time that we have to put in to do and to fix this ourselves. Our friend and hunter Jeff is still here, and today his goal is to get the engine in place and have this thing up and running. Here's a funny thing about most mechanics that I know. They don't want any help, but boy, do they draw a crowd as hunters gather around. They come in out from the cold to warm up and give Jeff some advice. Eventually, everything that was removed is replaced. Fluids are added to the new engine and the battery is hooked back up, and it's time to give it a go. All right.
No light.
and nothing happens.
No nothing.
No power, which we at least had a little bit of before we started this project. And it's time for Jeff to break out the multimeter and start tracing what has power and what doesn't. And after a bit of searching, he finds a plug that wasn't connected. And voila, we have power. But still no vroom.
Nothing. Well, at least we got that. That's a good thing.
Again, Jeff heads back into investigation mode to try to find out why there's no power past the key. Nothing will turn over. Power is flowing now, but there's no power going to the starter. He checks fuses, he starts tracing wires, checking for breaks and any pinches or any other issues that might be causing the problem. But everything looks correct, until I remember one critical safety feature of the Gator. This look is one that says, I can't believe we just spent an hour trying to figure out why the Gator wouldn't start when it was a simple issue of putting it in neutral to start it. That's an hour we don't get back. But the Gator is running, and now it's our mechanic's turn to head out for the very first test drive, an honor that every mechanic deserves. Because none of this is as easy as it looks. Of course, some test drives take longer than others. And sometimes you pick up a hitchhiker. Then we just have to reassemble a few parts and the box goes back on. The hinges and lift are put in place and we're as good as new. So what we've managed to do is breathe life into something that could have been scrapped or sold, or I can tell you this much, we couldn't have afforded a new one, at least one this nice. So we're pretty lucky. We're lucky to have Jeff here to help us out. We're lucky to have an engine that's relatively cheap, and we're lucky to be able to put it in and get up and rolling. Sometimes luck is all you have. A little bit of skill. Not on my part. Figured out that it goes into neutral. That's just dumb luck. Thanks for coming along with us today. Be sure to subscribe. Join us as we explore the ranch life and escape the ordinary 3 times per week right here on YouTube. You can check out our sister channel. It's called Beyond the Ranch. You can subscribe for that and catch our live streams and life streams that are happening right in the pasture and all kinds of cool stuff on there. So check that out as well if that's your thing. If not, that's cool. Have a great week. And thanks for joining us in our Wyoming Life.